Game of Thrones. Okay, now look. Before some of y'all get scarred from the season for which we will not refer to, the last season, I understand. Okay? I understand. I also understand and acknowledge that Game of Thrones, no matter how disappointed you might have been with the final season, was one of the best shows ever made in television history. It was one of the most successful shows in television history. Every Game of Thrones had us all in a chokehold every week. And you're lying if you say it didn't. You're lying. Okay? Game of Thrones was so good. Let me tell y'all how good Game of Thrones was. Game of Thrones was so good that people had to brag to let you know that they didn't watch Game of Thrones. How good do you have to be with all the streaming shows and options that we have to go out your way and beat your chest and let people know I don't watch that? Why would anyone care? Because everybody watched it. That's how great Game of Thrones was. With that said, that last season done put a lot of people off. It hurt a lot of souls because they was on the rise. They was on number one. It's almost like, look, y'all made it to the championship game, and then you get to the game and you missed all the free throws. You foul out, and then you get blown out by like 50. You did all that work to get to that moment, and you dropped the ball. However, we did have a little bit of a comeback with House of the Dragon. Now, I wouldn't say that House of the Dragon was as popular as the other Game of Thrones series, but you know what? It was pretty good. Okay. House of the Dragon, aka Dem Dragons, was really good in my opinion. We covered it on the channel, so if you late, you know you need to go back and rewatch. You can go check out my other videos. Week by week, we went through all of them. And I thought it was pretty good. So there was always talk, because there's so much material, so much mythos and lore and stuff with Game of Thrones, that there was going to be all these different spinoff shows. There was going to be all these different things that was going to happen. House of the Dragon already was a prequel to Game of Thrones. But there was you could literally do stories about anything. There was talk about going way back, like back in the time, like the Children of Men, or what was it? The fairy people, the grass people, or whatever. They was talking about like going all the way back to when the Night King was first made. You know, like that they was gonna go do a story about that, like before the wall was even made. Okay, you know, the big wall, the ice wall. But that fell through, or it just wasn't good enough, which I respect. I respect the fact that HBO was like, you know what? We had multiple Game of Thrones series talked about and speculated and stuff like that. We went through them, wasn't good enough. Matter of fact, House of the Dragon, the next season, we gonna take our time with that. Love to hear it. Go take your time. I'm going to let them cook. However, we do have something now that is actually in the works, or at least moving forward. And that is a Game of Thrones prequel. And this one is going to be about Aegon's conquest. Woo, that's right. A new Game of Thrones prequel about Aegon the first Aegon Targaryen's conquest of Westeros is actively being discussed at HBO. Sources also say that there may be a feature component to the project, i.e., HBO and Warner Brothers would produce a feature film that would then lead into the potential series, though plans remain in flux at the moment. Let me tell you something. Now these people are cooking. Now they are thinking. Because one of the things that I had said, I had proposed this back when Game of Thrones was happening. And I'm actually kind of glad they didn't do it because they dropped the ball, but they should have done it and stayed with it. But that's a different story. One of the things that I kind of said that would have been a brilliant idea, because it was very expensive to do the shows back then. I mean, once you start adding dragons and you doing big armies and stuff, your TV budget is going to go up. It's going to get more difficult. I mean, Game of Thrones was out there sweating. They were so pressed. They had Starbucks coffee cups still on set. You know what I'm saying? Like they was pressed. Okay, they was real pressed towards the end. I was like, all y'all really need to do, y'all should have taken season 8 and made 1 or 2 movies from those things. Actually get a big budget from Warner Brothers, put 10, 15, 50 million, whatever. You mean to tell me people wasn't going to tune into that? I would have gone to the theater if you would have told me. Now, granted, this is, I'm not talking about hindsight here. I'm saying when we were in that moment before season 8 came out, when Daenerys was out there Dracarysing everybody, I was sitting here like, yo, you put this season finale in the theaters, y'all gonna make $1 billion. Y'all finna go and make bank. Whatever your budget is, you gonna make 2-3 times that. And yeah, it's not like you have to make $1 billion. Nobody's saying that they're gonna sit here and make all this money across the world. I'm just saying y'all definitely was gonna make at least 200. You was gonna make 300 easy in the theaters. But now HBO's a little backwards. They turn it around and they talking about, nah, let's make a movie first and then let's make a show. I guess maybe maybe that'll work. I think that when you build up and then go, that'll be great, because just because you throw a Targaryen on the big screen doesn't mean they're compelling. Doesn't mean I want to go see that. The TV show eases us in. It gets us to know the characters. It gets us into the story. And then the film, I would argue, is where you get the payoff, because the film has to feel. Think about this. The reason why you go to the theater at all, the reason why you get up, you get dressed, you go, get in your car, you park, you buy this expensive ticket, you buy this expensive food, and you sit your butt down for a couple hours. The reason why you do that is because whatever you're about to see has to feel like an event. It has to feel like something more than just the ordinary. So this is one of the reasons why, if you put something in theaters that's not compelling, that's why you don't get money. That's why, because if it's not something to say like, oh man, I could just watch this on my TV and be just fine. If it's something like on that level, you're not going to make no money. So in my opinion, if they go this route, I think it's a mistake. Because yes, there are Game of Thrones fans, but guess what? There are still Game of Thrones fans that are scarred. There are still some out there that don't trust you. There are still some out there that are like, yeah, we're not trying to get hurt no more. So in my opinion, they need to start with the series first, save whatever big battles, and put that on the screen later. Because if they do it first, I think they're going to open themselves up for disappointment. I think. I could be wrong. They could drop a fire trailer and maybe something else. I don't know. But right now, I'm just thinking to myself, like, if you start with a film first, one, you're about to cast somebody that we have no idea who they are. We don't know who the first Aegon was. We don't know his sister. We don't know any of them. They're all going to be new. Yes, we know the background story a little bit, but we don't know these characters. Like, imagine with House of the Dragon, it took me some time to realize Daemon is a problem, and I want to see more Daemon. It took me time to get to that. I'm not going to just be like, oh, okay, well, it's Matt Walsh, so let me just go. No, you have to build that investment. Anyway, I'm spending too much time on this. They tripping on this. I'm gonna need them not to do a movie first, do a movie after, especially if you get the ratings up, you get the anticipation up. And here's the other bonus. Here's the other bonus. Dang it, why am I? Is somebody gonna hire me? Can I just be an executive somewhere? Don't y'all want people to come back to your streaming service? If you build up a show, you know what happens when you do a show? Let me talk to HBO for a second. Excuse me, Mr. HBO Max. If y'all really want to build up money, y'all want to do some money moves, right? You build up the show, you drop it weekly, you get the people talking about the show every week, you drum up the hype because your show is that engaging. You leave the cliffhanger for the big money in the movie theater. And guess what's going to happen? People that were on the fence that didn't want to actually watch the show, they're going to be like, wait a minute, there's a movie, but wait, there's a show? Okay, I was kind of on the fence, but if it's got this much hype and if it's got this much fanfare that feels like an event, I think I'm going to go subscribe to your service so I can catch up, and then I'm going to go pay for the movie. Y'all don't want money. Y'all don't want money. But come and holler at your boy in case y'all want some. You know, that's just one idea for y'all. I mean, that I thought logic, you know. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Hold on, we got some more here. Let's see. The show would tell the story of Aegon and his sister wives, Visenya and Rhaenys, used their army and their 3 dragons to conquer 6 of the 7 kingdoms on Westeros, with the exception of Dorne. In doing so, Aegon I became the first king of Westeros, the first to sit on the Iron Throne, and the founder of the Targaryen dynasty. Those events took place about 300 years prior to the events of Game of Thrones. All right. Well, that right there is what you could anticipate for a Game of Thrones prequel series. This would, I want to say, House of the Dragon took place, what was it, 200 years before Game of Thrones, so this would be 300. So anyway, y'all let me know, what do you think about this potential prequel? It's not solidified yet. This is all just in talks. This is where they're kind of leaning. But let me know, are you anticipating this? Are you excited for this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.